Hello, Transform fam. How are you guys? I am super excited to be here with you and to go over a little class I put together called Your Gut Health Reset. So we're going to be going over 10 things that you can do to help improve your gut health. Okay, so let's first talk about why this is so important. So you guys, our gut is home to trillions of bacteria. Now that might sound gross, but it's not gross. It's really good. Well, actually, there's good bacteria and there can be bad bacteria that can give you, all of those common symptoms such as constipation, diarrhea, bloating, indigestion. Anything that's uncomfortable with your digestion is likely because of an overgrowth of that bad bacteria. Okay, so our gut and brain. Have you guys heard about our gut and brain connection? Our guts have actually been referred to as our second brain. So you can kind of see this in your life with, situations where, have you ever been so nervous or stressed that you've had digestive issues? Like maybe you've gotten gas or diarrhea or a lot of bloating when you're in a certain situation where you're super stressed, overwhelmed, that kind of thing. That's a perfect example of how our gut and our brain are super interconnected. Also, a majority of your serotonin is in your gut as well. So it definitely affects your mood, your hormones as well. I'm gonna move my little face over here so I can see my notes here. Whoopsie. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go, back to here. So our endocrine system and our guts are also very, very interconnected. So if you're having gut issues, you likely are having some hormone issues as well. So also, your gut, of course, controls your digestion. So if you're having any of those symptoms, like I mentioned, with the gas, the bloating, the constipation, the diarrhea, these things are not normal. You guys, they're not normal and they can be fixed. Okay, so we're gonna talk about 10 ways you can fix that, okay? So what does good gut health mean? So good gut health is really a healthy balance between that good and bad bacteria, okay? You may have also heard the term gut microbiome. What does that mean? And so when we say gut microbiome, that refers to all the microorganisms and just that genetic material that live in your intestinal tract. Most of it is bacteria, but gut microbiome just kind of refers to all of it, okay? So how do you know if your gut health needs work? Oftentimes you can feel it with those symptoms like I mentioned before, but if you're not quite sure, some people don't really know what normal and healthy feels like because you've kind of had bad gut health for so long, you think that it's normal, right? So if you live a very stressful lifestyle, if you've had a history of poor nutrition choices, if you've had long-term antibiotic use, maybe you get sick a lot, maybe you get a lot of infections and your doctor just keeps putting you on antibiotics. Chances are we need to work on that gut health to, rebuild that healthy balance of good bacteria. So now what? You're like, okay, that's me. Where do I start? So let's go ahead and jump into our 10 ways to help your gut health, okay? And these are going to be ways that you can easily start doing in your life right now. So number one, these are things I want you to stop doing, actually. I want you to stop eating while you're stressed, okay? What this does, and it's so common, right? We stress eat. That's a coping mechanism that is very, very common. So when this happens, you guys, we're not able to divert our body's resources to digestion. Our bodies are so worried, we're so worried about calming ourselves down that we're not going to make enough stomach acid to actually break down our food and absorb those nutrients. So that's what's going to lead to gas, bloating, other issues. So if you do find that you live in like a constantly stressed state, try really focusing on de-stressing before a meal. So, I wrote mediation. You don't need to go to mediation. I meant to say meditation, excuse me. So meditation, deep breathing, even just for a few minutes, okay? It can even just be maybe a minute or two of like closing your eyes, taking a little mindfulness break, taking some deep breaths. Box breathing can really help here. Box breathing is where you take a big inhale for about 5 to 7 seconds, hold your breath for about 5 to 7 seconds, exhale for 5 to 7 seconds, and then hold that exhale for, again, 5 to 7 seconds. So it's like this box. That's where it comes from, box breathing. You've got an inhale, a hold, an exhale, a hold, okay? These things can really put your body into more of a parasympathetic state before you eat, which is going to help with digestion, okay? Number 2, stop the distracted eating. For those same reasons I mentioned before, when you're distracted, your body can't focus on digesting the food and producing the right stomach acids. So if you're eating while you're working or doing other things, this will really kind of shunt that blood flow away from your digestive organs, which is going to affect digestion. So try, putting screens away, try stopping watching TV, scrolling social media, doing projects at the same time, and just sit down, focus on your food, focus on the enjoyment of your food, and that's going to help your digestion a ton. Number 3, eat more fruits and veggies. These are some of the best sources of nutrients for your body. You guys, they're going to be high in fiber, which can be digested by your bacteria in your gut and help stimulate healthy gut microbiome and healthy bacteria. So, during your meal prep, if you're feeling like, if you're someone who's like, well, I don't like fruits and veggies, I totally get it. I talk to people all the time that feel that way. So I would try, you don't have to eat tons, and you don't have to eat tons of new ones all the time. Just choose your favorites. And when you're grocery shopping and you're doing your meal planning, plan 1 to 3 fruits and veggies that you'll keep on hand for the week and include those every single day. Maybe they're things you incorporate into your meals, salads, stir fries, having fruit as a side, or maybe it's just things you just chop up like cucumber, bell pepper, carrots, snap peas, things like that. So just rotate them, keep them fun and interesting, and that will help a ton. Number 4 is get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You guys, I know this one is so hard. I know it's so hard, but it's crucial for your digestion and for your gut health. So not getting enough sleep is going to increase cortisol levels. And remember how we talked about that gut-brain endocrine connection? High cortisol levels is going to impact digestion. It can actually increase your blood sugar as well. And high cortisol can also cause some intestinal permeability issues. So that gas, bloating, stomach pain, even food sensitivities, you guys can really respond to changes in gut microbiome. So I would watch that, make sure you're getting enough sleep. It's going to help moderate those cortisol levels, which will directly impact your gut health. So try this, okay? Try creating a good bedtime routine where you're really focusing on, our bodies are kind of like babies sometimes. When you have babies, it's that good routine helps. We respond best to routine. So even if it's just, turning the lights down, reading a book, putting on blue light glasses, putting away screens, laying out your clothes for the next day, all of these things really do help. Also plan to be in bed about 30 minutes before you want to fall asleep. Again, at that point, you can read a book, do some deep breathing, and just allow yourself that time to fall asleep. Okay. Number 5, staying hydrated. That's going to help gut health a ton. If you're dehydrated, you guys, what happens is your colon's actually going to soak up whatever water it can from the food you're eating. And so that's going to make it really hard for waste to pass through your intestines. Okay. That's going to lead to constipation, stomach pain, more gas and bloating, that kind of thing. So make sure, we talk about this all the time, but make sure you're getting at least half your body weight in ounces of water a day, okay? If you exercise that day, I would add on another 2 or 3 cups. And if you live in a place that's hot or humid and you've been sweaty, I would add on another cup or 2 on top of that, okay? That's bare minimum. Next one, eat slowly and chew thoroughly. Did you know that digestion actually starts in your mouth? So the more work you do in your mouth, the easier time your gut will have digesting the food. So effective chewing, you guys, you got to chew things almost to like a paste, like mashed potato consistency. I've heard it said that you need to chew 20 to 30 times. Now, if that grosses you out, you can work up to that slowly, but chewing is going to increase saliva, okay? You might notice that as you chew, you produce more saliva, which is going to reduce stress on the esophagus, okay? So as your food is going down into the beginning of your digestive tract, it's going to help that saliva is going to help aid that digestion. And saliva also has digestive enzymes that are going to help digestion as well. So, eat slowly, put your fork down between bites, talk to people that you're with, just go slow. Don't, power through your meals and make sure you're chewing a lot. Okay. Now, also be mindful of fiber. You guys, too much fiber can actually be just as harmful as too little fiber. So ideally, I want you to get your fiber from whole, colorful food sources, not like your Fiber One bars, not your fiber added tortillas and cereals and protein bars. That's going to cause a lot of gas. Okay, so if you do find that you eat a lot of that kind of stuff, fiber added foods, I would try cutting those out and focus more on your fruits and vegetables. Now, cruciferous veggies, those can be a tough one because I know I was just saying increase your vegetable intake, but cruciferous veggies like cauliflower, broccoli, some Brussels sprouts, those can be hard to digest too for some people. Okay, so if you're having a lot of gas and bloating and you do eat a lot of those vegetables, I would try cutting them out for a week and focus on veggies that are easier to digest, like cucumbers, spinach, different greens like lettuces, and just see how you feel that way. And then also try cutting out all processed food with a lot of added fiber. If there's something that has, 1, 2, 3, even 4 grams of fiber, that's okay. But we've all seen those granola bars, protein bars that have like 15 grams of added fiber, right? Those can cause major issues with your digestive tract, okay? And then last one here, we want to get 25 to 30 grams of fiber from whole foods, okay? Another thing that can actually help digestion is, you're still getting your total calories that you need for the day, but try eating fewer meals farther apart. During that time between meals, your body actually will have a chance to fully digest your meal before you're piling more food on top of it, okay? So you may find that if you're feeling really gassy and you know that you're the type of person who just snacks and picks in food all day, try, being proactive and planning bigger meals 3 to 4 times a day, and then taking a total break from eating between those meals, okay? So there's something called migrating motor complex. Now, this is a contraction that pushes food through our digestive system, and it's only stimulated when our stomach is empty, okay? So if our stomach's never empty, our digestion will slow down and make you feel gassy, bloated, overly full, that kind of thing. So again, like I said here, try eating 3 to 4 meal times so that you're having bigger meals, and then set that eating window and stop a few hours before bed. So it's really, really good to also let your digestive system kind of rest for about 10 to 12 hours. So not saying you need to do some major fasting protocol, but if you go to bed at 10 or 11, stop eating around 7 or 8 p.m. and then start eating again at 7 or 8 in the morning. Now, here's another one. Limit alcohol. You guys, too much alcohol is limited to gastritis, which is irritation and inflammation of that gut lining, which can also lead to heartburn, abdominal discomfort, ulcers. And I'm not saying you have to completely cut out your alcohol. Just keep it like more of an occasional use and not like a regular everyday kind of thing, okay? If you are focusing specifically on gut health, I do think it would be helpful to completely cut it out for a short period of time and see how you feel. Over time, if you are drinking a lot and have a lot of that intestinal inflammation, it can actually really alter your gut microbiome and really throw off that healthy balance of your good and bad bacteria. Now, the last thing, I only recommend this if you kind of have more of a severe case of gut issues, but you can try eliminating different foods, okay? Some ideas. And to choose, what you eliminate, I would say do what you eat the most of, okay? So common foods you can try eliminating to see if it helps would be gluten, dairy, all processed artificial foods, and then high FODMAPs. I have here on this slide what FODMAP stands for. It's fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols, okay? So these are actually in some carbs, and not carbs, they are a starch, okay? They're in your carbs. They feed the they feed the gut bacteria. So if you have a healthy balance of gut bacteria, then it's a good thing. You don't want to cut out high FODMAP foods forever. But if you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria, it can be helpful for a short period of time to cut out high FODMAP foods and let that bad bacteria kind of die off, and you are really focusing on nourishing and growing that good bacteria. And then you work those FODMAP foods back in. If you're like, what is high FODMAP? What is low FODMAP? If you just Google, I think the link is ibsdiet.org. You go there and it's just a very extensive list of high FODMAP, moderate FODMAP, and low FODMAP foods. So that can be helpful. I would probably stick with trying the gluten and dairy first and see how that helps. So now how a probiotic can help. You guys, probiotics are adding good bacteria to your gut microbiome, okay? So those good bacteria, they're gonna fight off the bad bacteria and really help restore that balance with your body. This is gonna help you feel so much better when you have that good balance. So it's gonna, support your immune function, control inflammation, and just help your digestive system work so much better, which is going to help you feel a million times better if you're having gut issues. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope it gave you some good takeaways, things you can start trying right now to get focused on, getting that good gut health back and feeling your best. Let me know if you guys need any more help. I'm happy to help.